Hello everyone, I'm Greg Otto with FedScoop TV. Welcome to our Cybersecurity Heroes series, and I'm talking with Robert Silvers, DHS's Assistant Secretary for Cyber Policy. Robert, thanks for joining us today.
Good to be here, Greg.
So share with our viewers how you have significantly improved the cybersecurity posture in DHS or across the federal government totally.
Sure. So we're enhancing our best programs and we're making them accessible to more of our private sector stakeholders as well as our sister agencies at both the federal level as well as state and local. So for example, we're all very interested in growing information sharing, cyber threat information sharing. We recently in March stood up an automated indicator sharing program, which is really our new signature information sharing program. Traditionally, these things have been done manually. Someone would see a threat out there, a cyber threat indicator, would email it to us, and that had to be processed by people. We've developed an architecture where it's submitted by machine, processed by machine, and then shared out automatically with the range of all our stakeholders in an anonymized way to protect privacy. And what that's doing is allowing people to protect themselves in real time at the speed at which the threat moves. So broadening our programs like that and then making them accessible. So we, for example, we're aiming to sign up 50 new partners for this new indicator sharing program this year. We're already in the process of signing up 80. So we think we're going to exceed our goals, which is great. And these include companies, these include cybersecurity organizations that have multiple members. They also include foreign countries. So we're partnering directly with foreign governments, for example, to, on a two-way basis, share threat information in near real time. In terms of our protective mission for working with federal civilian departments and agencies to protect their own networks, we've accelerated the rate at which we're deploying our key programs. For example, the Einstein program, which is our signature perimeter defense program. We've accelerated implementation of that program so that all federal agencies now have the most advanced Einstein capabilities available to them. Same with our continuous diagnostics and mitigation program, which is sort of the monitoring of the internal networks of all those departments and agencies. So we're enhancing our programs and we're making them available.
So as agencies look to leverage these new technologies, how can they push the boundaries of protecting data and the security around the data? What strategies and tools are the government putting in place to protect just the troves of data that they are taking in on a daily basis?
So that's the critical question, and what you need to do is you need to be very vigilant in while you're executing on your current priorities in cybersecurity, you have to keep one eye towards what's coming down the road. And that's not always easy to do in the heat of the moment, but it's vitally important given the speed at which technology and the threat picture are advancing in this space. So first, you need to have your belt and suspenders down. You need to have your perimeter defense. You need to have internal monitoring. You also need to be thinking about how to incorporate next generation technologies into your system. So for example, anomaly and behavioral detection softwares. For example, machine learning and artificial intelligence based programs. Even emergent technologies like the blockchain, which is commonly associated with Bitcoin and underpins Bitcoin, but also has extremely promising uses in totally unrelated fields as a secure ledger to store data in an incorruptible way and with strong security. So agencies, companies, individuals need to be leveraging the best of today's technology, but also keeping an eye down the road to make sure that they can be deploying timely when new technologies are available.
So beyond the technology side of it, culture change is such a key part to cybersecurity. How are you driving agencies or even the private sector to think differently about it?
So you have to drive the cultural change in part through action. You have to get into a steady drumbeat of implementing new cybersecurity enhancements in a way that your workforce, your customers, your constituents see, so that they understand that it's foremost on your agenda and that it needs to be foremost on their agenda. Within DHS and other federal agencies, for example, we have in recent years required multi-factor authentication to sign on to systems, which is just a bread and butter necessary step. And we have enhanced training. We now have emails that we will send to employees in the DC area, select employees, that say, you've won Redskins tickets. Click here to claim your tickets. And it's from a sort of fishy looking email address. And anyone who clicks on it says, you just failed a pretty important test. Luckily it was a test, but here is some cybersecurity training that you need to do to get up to speed on basic ways of protecting yourself. So you need to just be constantly rolling out new measures and reinforcing to folks that this is important. Within the federal government, I think the OPM events have, to those who were not already woken up, served as a wake-up call. I think everyone at a senior level of this administration understands now the terrible consequences that can result from an intrusion or a data breach. And so I think that too has helped to shift the culture towards one of security.
So finally, I would ask, we all know that there is no silver bullet when it comes to protecting systems, but what is the one best practice or piece of technology that agencies need to leverage in order to keep their network secure, in your opinion?
So just to echo what you said, that is absolutely right. There is no silver bullet, and anyone who tells you that their product is a silver bullet is probably trying to sell you something. The key is what we call defense in depth.
Okay.
You need to have protocols and safeguards at every step throughout your networks and your processes to protect against threats. And if you, I like to think about it as you would think of a physical facility.
Okay.
So for a very sensitive physical facility, a military base, a prison, you would have a guardhouse that you first drive up to and where they check out who you are. You would then, to enter any building, need to swipe a badge or give a biometric or something. You would then have cameras everywhere, taping everything inside that building. And you would, on top of that, have security guards patrolling. And that's because you can't rely on any one phase to counter every possible threat. It's exactly the same in cybersecurity.
Right, so you need to be more holistic.
You need to be holistic.
Well, Rob, thanks for dropping by. Very interesting conversation. Thanks for joining us.
Good to be here, Greg.